Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday live stream. We got a ton of stuff to go over, so let's just get into it. So first of all, I think now is the time. I mean, obviously, the best time to buy was during the absolute low of every bear market, and when the price went to the floor. And actually, a better time to buy all the different digital assets would have been at the very inception of that digital asset. Now, we know that's ridiculous to even think about, but I would just like to point out that if you didn't get in when Bitcoin was a penny, or you didn't get into Ethereum when it was a nickel, maybe now is the time to start thinking about going, you know what, this might be a pretty reasonable time to actually get into crypto and digital assets, especially with what's coming. If we take a look at the 4-year cycles, especially going in 2025 in the first half of the year. Now, we talked about the reasoning for this. This was on last Sunday's live stream. What we talked about was usually what happens is after a halving, which we had one on April 20th, 2024, usually within 12 to 16 months, you see a top or a double top. This happened in 2020 when we went to April of 2021. Then we had a big or a nice correction, as the kids like to call it. And then it goes back in November, and we had a nice really rally, and then we crashed or had a depression, whatever you want to call it, in 2022. So if we see these same guidelines, we talked about this and we took a look at the prices of what was actually happening. So right now, I'm pretty much, my bank account is severely anemic, even more so than during the bear market. Actually, maybe not as much as it was in the bear market, but I just think that 2025 is going to be pretty good. We've got a lot of tailwinds. Does that mean we could have a some type of black swan event come out? Sure. But right now, we got a lot of good things to talk about. And I try to be bearish. I really do. I try to be balanced, but man, there's a lot of good stuff going on. So first of all, I want you to notice this number, 3.8 trillion. That is the market cap right now. That's the market cap today as of, what is the date today? December 7th, 2024. $3.845 trillion. And we've dipped below the Bitcoin's all-time high of like 103, 104,000, whatever it was. And now we're just kind of teetering, going back and forth, which I got to tell you is pretty great for the traders. You know what's been doing really good? XRP at 357% over 30 days. Over the last 24 hours is up 5%. And also Doge Coin, 4% and 139% respectively. Of course, Cardano also has to be mentioned here at 220% over 30 days. Congratulations. And I'm sure there's a ton of coins that I didn't mention that you own, but just stick with me. The reason why I think things are really popping off, or really should be popping off, is because when I got in 2017, there was no congressman or woman talking about crypto. And if they were talking about crypto, it was about how it was a scam. There were no nation states buying it. There were no countries really getting into it. There was no talk of strategic reserve. There was no presidential candidate. You get where I'm going. This is pretty much unprecedented. We didn't have ETFs. We had a futures contract by the CBOE in December of 2017. And the only thing that the big money did was short the living heck out of Bitcoin and essentially crash the price, which brought us into 2018, which was a major pullback. But what I think is happening here is that there is a lot of money just sitting on the sidelines. And I've gone over this many times. I don't think I've done this slow enough to really let this sink in. This number here, 3.8 trillion. This is all the world's money and market visualizations as of 2022. Now, prices have gone up quite exponentially. And of course, in 2022, they had to bring up Sam Bankman-Fried, which his net worth is, I don't know, a pack of smokes, I think, in prison. That's about it, which is where he belongs. But all these little squares are $100 billion. And look at this. Cryptocurrency, after hitting a peak of 2.82 trillion in November of 2021, the crypto market has fallen to 760 billion. So congratulations, we're at a market cap all-time high. Wasn't aware of that until I actually tuned into this chart. Then we take a look at Russia versus Ukraine, which I think is interesting. The Russian economy was 1.8 trillion. Ukrainian economy was 0.2 trillion. Where did they get all the funding to do all this fighting? Crazy, right? Anyhow, skipping into the coin and banknotes, gold. This is how much gold has gone up. And it's done a pretty good job. I own gold and silver. I have no problems with that. But it was $11.5 trillion in 2022. Right now it's worth 18.2 trillion. Correct me in the comment section. And if you think about it, just how much just Bitcoin itself could eat into that digital gold, or that preservation of wealth, or that hedge against inflation, even though some people say it's not. I say it is. Actually, it's just a very long-term store of value and a hedge against inflation over 4 years. Imagine it's just kind of cutting into that. But wait, it gets better. Here's the top 5 billionaires in the world. And none of them are trillionaires, but I think Musk might be it pretty soon. They have 13 trillion roughly. Central bank balance sheets. That's all the central banks, the Fed Reserve, European, People Bank, China. $28 trillion. Again, remember this number, 3.8 trillion. Let's just round up and say 4 trillion. The S&P 500, all the equities, all the stocks, 36 trillion. Right now, it's way more than that. I want to say it's around 50 trillion as of 2024. U.S. for China GDP, 23 and 17 trillion. Global money supply, and there's 2 types: narrow money, which is a rough 50 trillion, includes coins, banknotes, and checking deposits, and it's way more because of America, which will be broad money, $82 trillion. The global stock markets, New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, Shanghai, Euronext, India, Hong Kong, that's over $110 trillion. Global debt is 300 trillion and ballooning higher. Global real estate, 326 trillion. I want you to note this: China is the world's most valuable residential market and now accounts for 1/3 of total global residential value. That's actually needs to be updated because their real estate has recently been collapsing. And we've covered that on the channel over a year ago. Of course, this is in 2022. So as all these things start to move and shake, and people are looking at where can I put my money that's a little bit, that is give me some good returns, I'll let you make the judge for that. Agriculture and commercial, over $60 trillion. Average wealth, over $250 trillion. I want to skip that. I don't want to skip this. God damn, this is a lot. Household wealth. This was the thing that got me. According to Credit Suisse, all global household wealth tallies to 463 trillion. You have to think about that. Well, how is it that the government itself doesn't have that much? Well, it's because the people within those countries that make up the government, because remember, the government serves you, not the other way around. You are the one that holds all the assets. You are the one that holds all the banknotes. You are the one that really attributes to all this wealth. And it's 463 trillion across the way. And that could be assets, that could be real estate, that could be homes, that could be cars, that could be gold, that could be everything that you actually hold. Now, this also includes your liabilities. Your liabilities are things that you own, which you owe, your credit cards, your mortgage, the loan on your car, everything else that comes together. $463 trillion. And when people say we want retail to get in, that's why they say that. Because I think there's so much money sloshing around. Now, you can't just take all that money out of your, say your house and sell your house quite easily, but it's a lot of funds that are around. And then, of course, lastly, which I always thought was funny, derivatives, which are futures, forwards, options, warrants, and swaps. That's $600 trillion. And when I went to this, I thought this was an error because actually, if you tally this all up, it's over $1 quadrillion. So when we talk about all these things, and I'm sorry, I always kind of skimmed over this. We have to understand that there's a lot of funds, and now we're finally getting the recognition that we deserve because we front ran everybody. We front ran most of those billionaires. We front ran all those governments, and here we are, just waiting around in our big fat bags, waiting for things to happen. So the question is, what's going to break? Well, I just found this interesting, and I've been harping on this for quite some time about Doge Coin, is that it's going to do well because of the Department of Government Efficiency, and people are going to confuse it. But there's this guy, I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is Elon Musk, and he refuses to stop, to stop tweeting and posting stuff like this. And I think what he's talking about here is, he's done this meme many a times, for Dogecoin, but now I think he's kind of delving or going into that realm of this is actually representing Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. But a lot of people don't really get it. They just see this and go, oh, it's the coin. And Elon Musk is talking about this. Also, there's been a bigger rumor that is unsubstantiated. And I will not tell you to fall for it, but the rumor is that because Elon Musk and X are going through with getting that money transmitter license state by state, that they want to implement Dogecoin for payments. Now that's just a rumor, and I really shouldn't even have said it because it's kind of ridiculous. And to be transparent, I own a lot of Doge. So of course I want it to be true. Is it true? Who knows? I've also heard the same thing about XRP because, I mean, X, wouldn't that be perfect though? I mean, you change from Twitter to X and your currency on X is XRP. Again, congratulations to the XRP holders. I don't own any anymore. So, but I'm still happy for everybody because, I mean, they deserve it. But I found this article and I thought, maybe that's part of the reason why XRP is pumping, besides the fact that Donald Trump has come out and said that he's not going to give any capital gains for any US-based cryptocurrency and digital asset companies. But there's other things behind it. This was a good one. XRP enters corporate treasury reserves with Worksport and BC Bud co-investments. And when I first read the title, I'm like, that's great. It sounds like something that MicroStrategy would do, has done with Bitcoin, right? They have a corporate diversity plan as far as reserves. And of course, other companies are picking it up. So I thought to myself, well, why wouldn't other companies look into other crypto digital asset projects? But this is what it is. And I'll let you make the choice here. So Workspot has a whopping 5 million Bitcoin and XRP allocation. So it's not just 5. First of all, 5 million is not going to move the market. Sorry. I mean, it's something. It's, it's cute. It's nice, but this is what it is. And it's not even all XRP. So on December 5th, Worksport, a NASDAQ-listed truck cover manufacturer, unveiled plans to diversify its treasury by investing up to 5 million in Bitcoin XRP. This is why I like to not just read the headlines, but the actual data information within these stories so I can get the whole picture. But wait, there's more. BC Budco invests in XRP. What the heck's Budco? It's a Canadian cannabis company, weed. The BC Budco announced a Canadian dollar $250,000 or equivalent to $178,000 investment in XRP using cash reserves. Watch out. $178,000. That is not going to move the needle. But it's a good article, and people might tout this and go, this is awesome. However, on the flip side of this, I would remind you that if you just would have invested into Ripple or XRP, you would have outperformed Bitcoin. Wait, don't shout at the screen. This is true. You can do this. You can verify this. You can do your own research. Go to Ben's website, into the Cryptoverse, sign up for it. This part's free. There's other stuff that's paid. There's a link in the description. You get 10% off the first month. But there's this thing called a DCA simulation. And you can put the main asset. I put XRP. I put just investing $100 a week, which is a lot. I mean, for some people, that's a boatload of money. I get it, right? I mean, I could do $10. It doesn't matter. It's just percentages. $100 a week. Do it on Monday. Starting date was 2018, January 1st. You know when things started to kind of slide down. And then ending on December 1st, 2024. How well do you think XRP did? Well, not too great, Rob, because it's, 2018 was pretty much like towards the tippy top. Well, actually did pretty darn good. Look at this. So we did this actually on one of our Q&A sections. So I wanted to bring this back. If you had done the same thing with Shiba Inu, you would have $720 million, 701,000. And if you would have done that with Doge, you would have 2.5 million. You would have actually, how much would you have spent? You would have spent 36,100 over 361 weeks. And you would have had that much in Shiba and Doge. That's why I say, like, people laugh at meme coins. The only one that's laughing are the ones that are owning, laughing all the way to the bank. Good for them. Now there's about 10,000 of the ones that suck and go to zero, but just saying. That's the gambler in you. Solana, BNB, ADA, ETH outperformed it, but look at Bitcoin and XRP. If you'd done the same thing with Bitcoin, you would be up 620%. With XRP, you'd be up 558%. What's the difference? Well, Rob, I'll tell you what the difference is. It's about 60 percentage points. I get that, but look at this. 237. So your 36,000 will be worth 237,000 or 260,000. Isn't that crazy? Think about that. All he had to do is just keep buying, which I got to tell you, on the next bear run, when people are talking about throwing sand in the ocean and, just dollar cost average, Start to think about that, especially for some of these different projects. Now, not all projects are going to make it back. I got you. You're absolutely right. But I'm just saying, if you believe in it, you think it's going to happen, good things happen to those who wait. I think that's it. So congratulations again to XRP holders. I think you guys really deserved it. And then also David Sachs. I had to talk about this one. I don't know if you guys ever watched the All In podcast. Very entertaining, kind of long. But that's, let's see. J. Cal, Freeberg, Shamath, looking not too happy. And the bottom left is David Sachs. David Sachs is now your White House AI and crypto czar. This actually was a couple of days ago. I didn't cover it because I didn't really think too much of it. I thought, oh, it's great. David Sachs, entertaining guy. But again, when I talk about tailwinds and headwinds, this is another tailwind. David guides policy for the administration in AI and crypto, 2 areas critical to the future of American competitiveness. David will focus on making America the clear global leader in both areas of artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency. He will safeguard free speech, steer us away from big tech bias and censorship. Well, I don't know about big tech bias. I mean, he's kind of part of that. He was part of the PayPal mafia and the chief operating officer in the early days of PayPal. I think he was one of the co-founders. But regardless, I think it's a great pick. And again, anybody that can propel crypto digital assets into the public consciousness, I'm all about it. And this is what he said. This is like this was like yesterday. He says, there are too many stories of people being hurt by Operation Choke Point 2.0. It needs to be looked at. And I think this is what's going to happen when all the people that were behind all the nonsense that was suppressing the price of, say, an XRP, say, company that Ripple, or everything that has to do with digital assets. I think this is all going to come out and why it's happening and why we didn't change it. And then also, he's not just, big on regulation and propelling crypto. I mean, he's actually been in there for a long time. This is from May 30th, 2013. As Shamath explains, Bitcoin has the potential to be the next internet, the internet of money. I'm buying. This guy's been buying since 2013, if you can believe that. And then he said this in 2017, crypto fulfills the original vision we tried to build at PayPal. So if there's anybody that could do a pretty good job for AI and cryptocurrency, I think it'd be David Sachs. So congratulations on Trump picking another winner for crypto. I like it. This is great. But let me give you some balance, because I'm not going to have you walk out of here all like, oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be so easy. We'll all be millionaires. Just wait. There's so many scams going around. It doesn't matter how much you make, it's how much you keep. And we talked about this. Was this yesterday? Yeah. Yesterday in the Q&A, we talked about a couple of people who lost their entire life savings this week. So be thankful. Be thankful that you didn't fall to it. Be thankful that you weren't having a bad day and weren't a little bit too tired and then listened to somebody and then pushed the wrong button and lost everything, because it happens all the time. And I said here, people are getting scammed left and right. I've heard 4 stories this week. One wasn't too bad. I mean, he lost some Cardano and some NFTs, but a couple other people lost their entire life savings. But I want to remind everybody, it's up to us to steer the people, the normies that are out there, because without us guiding them a little bit for the safety, they're screwed. And this is a great point from Gravy. Gravy says this. I like this one. I told my boomer father, this is not my son, matter of fact. I told my boomer father that dabbles in crypto that no exchange will ever proactively call him randomly to tell him there was unusual activity on his account, especially Coinbase, because Coinbase wants nothing to do with customer support unless you call them. And even then, they don't want to help you, which I got to tell you is about 100% true. And you'd think right there you're done, but you're not done. All your friends and family and relatives that you get into crypto, if you don't update them at the right time with the right things and give them reminders, they're going to get screwed over. And who are they going to blame? They're going to blame you. And then they're going to blame crypto because they're going to say crypto's a big scam. So if you don't do this, I am telling you, it's a recipe for disaster. He says this, I had to snatch his cell phone from him one time because I heard a scammer call him acting like Coinbase support. This was the 3rd time this has happened. Let me say that again. This was the 3rd time this has happened. So if you don't think that your relatives, family, and friends are not moronic in some way in some days because they're just having a bad day and they're super tired, think again. It's up to you to protect those people. And if you don't do it, again, it's on you. Pro tip, if you're unsure if you're talking to a scammer or not, ask them what company they work for and what location they're located at. They usually hang up. Exactly right. So that's just it. Remember the rules underneath me. Rule number 2, 100% scams. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Take things off exchanges. Don't use leverage and take profits along the way. Very simple. Very easy. That's why I want to say thank you, iTrust. For, first of all, when I logged into my retirement account, my Roth IRA, I saw this. iTrust Capital will never ask you to download any software, ask you to send funds, ask you for your password, 2FA or private seed phrase. Don't share your password. Very simple stuff, right? I think everybody should have this as a reminder. I think Coinbase and Binance, everybody should have this pop up. Not just for us, we get it, but it's the other people. I think that'd be good. And speaking of retirements, so far, here is my Roth IRA retirement account. And I was kind of surprised today because, first of all, you know that I put 4 meme coins in with the sole purpose of selling them during this cycle because I think they'll probably pop off. And I didn't realize this, but well, Doge, Dog of Hat, and Pepe and Bonk were the last ones. Then I held gold and silver. And then it was Ton, Solana. Actually, it was SWI, Ton, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Now look at this. Now I've got Bitcoin, number 1, as it's always been, 50% allocation. ETH, 11%. And SWI now, I don't know where that came from. SWI is now number 3. Dogecoin is number 4. Solana 5. Toncoin 4. And then Bonk, Pepe, as they outperform gold and silver. And Dog with Hat is just sucking. Well, they did go up 7%, so not too bad. So anyhow, this is my Roth IRA. Again, as a reminder, there's 2 types of portfolios: a retirement account when I hit 59 and a half years old, which is coming pretty damn fast. And then also there's my regular portfolio, so I don't keep everything into it. So just so you know, if you want to do a Roth IRA, you got to be in the States. Sorry, it's just pretty much how it works. And then if you do that and go through this, these are all the different cryptos you can get on the lower right-hand side. Kind of hard to see. But it's like they have over 50 different cryptos that you can invest into. This is how Peter Thiel turned $2,000 into $5 billion. It's because when he was in PayPal, just like with David Sachs, he took his shares of PayPal, stuck them in a Roth IRA. It appreciated massively. Now he's going to get $5 billion tax-free. So what does that mean? It's better to do this earlier than later. Here's an example. On 7th of January, this is where I screwed up. I should have bought on the first week of January of this year because you can only contribute, it's $7,000 if you're 50 and under. I think at $8,000 if you're over. I might have reversed those, but it'll be here later. If I would have been smart and on my game, I would have invested in my Roth IRA when the Bitcoin price was 43,000, not 97,000. When Ethereum was 2,000, Solana was $89, Cardano was 49, Avalanche, and Doge was only 7 cents. Jesus. But I added to my Roth IRA at this point on 12th of May. And this was when the price was 61,000. All right, 2,000, 3,000 for Ethereum. Solana was 143. Dogecoin was 14 cents, which I got to tell you, it wasn't too bad because remember we were going through that chop. So the 6th of October, the prices were pretty much the same. But, you know, if I would have waited until now, here's the prices I'm dealing with as far as like the 1st of December. So always the earlier, the better. I started this with iTrust. Gosh, it's been like 3 years now. So it's been pretty good. But if I would have done this like it started in 2020, here's the prices on the 5th of January, 2020. $7,400, 136, XRP 19 cents. Well, they don't have EOS back then. It pretty much is Bitcoin, Ethereum. But look at those prices. If I just would have done it earlier, I mean, that's essentially what Peter Thiel did. He put it in when it was super cheap. And now that I think that things are really going to pop off, things should do pretty well. And you can wait until next year and you can wait before April. But I would just, if you're going to think about start doing this, I would do this now because 2025 is not going to be that year. Anyhow, the last thing I'll say about iTrust is this. I know people say, well, Rob, it's not your keys, not your crypto. Well, they use Coinbase Prime. They've recently switched over from their provider, and that's the gold standard. And that's what Larry Fink and Michael Saylor use. And I think it's good enough for them. So look, if you want to get into Roth IRA, links in the description. And then lastly, before we get into the Q&A, I just want to say thanks to World Mobile Token for two things. First, if you missed that integration as they go from WMT to WMTX, and they're going to be multi-chain, they actually are reopening that ability to transfer your tokens over. So I linked this in the description where you have to do a bridge, which kind of sucks, but I know some of you got stuck with World Mobile Token for the old contract, so now you can transfer it over. Let me just read this real quick. The migration portal will reopen at 12 o'clock UTC on December 16th for Cardano WMT to Cardano WMTX migrations only, and will remain open until further notice. So if you were like, hey, they screwed me, well, now they're going to open it back up for you. So try not to miss this one too. To swap WMT for EVMA WMTX, you will first need to swap WMT to Cardano Native and then use the following bridge. Read more about this here. If you have any questions, go here. I will remind you though, this Discord right here, the guy that got screwed out of a bunch of his Cardano and World Mobile Token was because he went to this Discord and somebody in that group was sitting around waiting to scam, and they scammed him. So just read that and do it yourself. It's not that hard. Don't want to ask for anybody. That's it. And the second thing I'd like to say is thanks to World Mobile Token, because they're going to be part of the Tomato Coin airdrop. This is for all the DNews Cardano stakeholders and everybody who gets Tomato Coin for the DNews stake pool for Cardano. You'll also be getting World Mobile Token. So win-win for everybody. And that's it. And then lastly, we'll be doing this watch party. Looks like World Mobile is going to come out with their documentary for when they worked with the folks over at, what was it? The Elon Musk Starlink, as they helped out over in North Carolina. So I'm curious to see what they did, and there's something going on between those two. But that is it for today. I told you we had a lot of stuff going on. So that's it, 27 minutes later. Sorry, that went a little bit long. That's it. So everybody, like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now, if you want to go over a little Q&A, answer all your questions to the best of my abilities, and we'll go from there. So let's get into the Q&A. Woof. Yeah, I know that was long. Sorry. Michael says, it's already successful. Just got to time my exit. I think that's the hardest thing. If we can, I mean, we all know how to buy dips. We all know how to dollar cost average. The hard thing is to not round trip our bags. And I'm going to be very, very active in reminding you about taking profits as we get into the blow off top. Jason says, Celsius just paid out shares of Atlantic Digital. Odyssey. I hear it's a U.S. crypto mining company. Is it worth holding? I'm never a big fan of what they did on that side about getting stock into some company that may or may not work. I know people will say, but Rob, you don't understand because it's going to be awesome. Right. I said, liquidate everything. Give me back as much as I possibly can. I know what to do. I know what I feel is right to do for myself. I just don't want to invest in either company. I'll make the investments into the cryptos and digital assets that I think are fair. And if they would have done this a lot longer, like maybe 2 months ago, we probably could have put it into some other different types of digital assets that, I don't know, went up 300, 400, 500%. So not that I'm angry, but I'm not happy. But also remember that I used to have Alex Mashinsky on this show, as a matter of fact, because he lied right to my face and everybody else. Not a good time. All right. What else we got? Did the round trip in 2021 to 2. Not doing that again. Let's hope so. Mad Cow says, agreed. 2025 will definitely be bullish. Thanks to the channel already focused, taking profit. Let's hope so. I mean, I got to tell you, it's hard. It's hard to take those profits because when you see something go a 10x, you're like, well, if it did 10x, why can't it do a 30x? Why can't it do a 50x? So that's the problem. That's what you're always going to fight with. And it's normal. Just know this. Somebody asked me, they said, hey, when you take profits, they said, how do you mentally deal with it as it goes up? I said, it's very simple. As soon as you make profits, those tokens are dead to you. You don't look at them. They're like your ex that you never want to talk to. It's like spoiled milk. When you have milk, spoiled milk, hold on, talking too fast. Spoiled milk is just like exes. When you have spoiled milk, what do you do with it? You throw it away. You don't ever think about it again. It's gone. But some people put that spilled milk back in their refrigerator thinking it's going to be good the next day. It's not. So it's dead to you. It's dead. It's dead. You made your funds. You're happy. You have powder on the side for the next big opportunity. Good for you. That's it. Yeah. Dead. Delete from your watch list. Echo's right. Celsius will on the hard way. Yeah, it's true. You got to learn from mistakes. It's not to be your mistakes, right? I might try that for an indoor tennis court. It'd be a pretty good business. Indoor tennis courts, especially here in Puerto Rico. Boy, if anybody could just make indoor tennis courts, it'd be awesome because it always rains here. Bitboy Cryptos, you're awesome. Where to stay, Cardano? There's a link in the description. It's called Dan Teaches Crypto. And let me show you. Right now, we're doing some upgrades. So I'm sorry if I know there's some people that said they couldn't log in, but the website's free. It'll always be free. But if you go to Dan Teaches Crypto, if you go to Dan Teaches Crypto, hold on, which there's a link in the description. And you just click on, see this where it's staking, ADA staking or AVAX, just click on ADA. It'll go through a walkthrough. There'll be a pop-up of a video. Or you just have to scroll down. There it is, finally making an appearance. Just watch that. I pretty much lay out how to do it. And then you get all the information also from here. So yeah, give that a roll. Fundamentally, XRP has no use case. It's going to zero. Well, you can make the same argument for most digital assets. I don't really care. I just think it's all narratives these days. I mean, if it works, it works. It doesn't, we'll find out. Hopefully, we'll all be gone by that point. Darren, I'm trying my best to allow free speech in Muhammad. Look, I mean, everybody's got their thing, right? Like, I'm going to guess Muhammad doesn't have a bag of XRP. I don't have a bag of XRP. I still think it's going to do good, but some people just don't see it. Master Blaster. I say traded pool yesterday. That's great, man. Hey, Rob, when you step down from the channel, are you stepping down from NFA Live too? I talked to the guys about that, and I said, I made a reference that they're going to have to find somebody else. So I'm open to come into the show every so often and just talk about what they want to talk about at that point. But yeah, I'll probably step down from that one too. For the best. Because I'm not going to keep up with it. I know it. So I become essentially worthless. Black Diamond Rob, what portfolio tracker do you use after moving coins? I use this one at Coin Ledger. And that one looks like this. In Coin Ledger, and we're going to do an integration series with these guys because taxes are coming up next year, right? Right before April, or if you get an extension, November, whatever. But with this one, see up here, new portfolio tracking by Coin Ledger. That's free. So I just use that, and it tells me like my cost basis, tells me what I'm in profit, tells me the percentages, and I just go from there. So I just use that one. And then what's great about the portfolio tracker is it's connected to the tax software. So I just click a few buttons, send it to my CPA, bing, bang, boom, done. So that's the one I use. Captain Plan, you have a pool? I have a green screen, and it looks like a nice pool. Yeah. Nice. 10JK. I use a tax attorney that also invests in crypto. These softwares are really bad. So that's a great idea. It's a great way to do things. I don't think about tax softwares are bad, but I do think you need guidance. That's why I have a specific CPA here in Puerto Rico that deals with crypto and digital assets. But if you don't, like, I don't know where you live, but what's great about Coin Ledger, if you scroll all the way down, and it says here, find a crypto tax expert, I would highly recommend this. And you can find CPAs and lawyers who they've vetted out and said, yeah, these guys, they are into digital assets. They understand the rules and regulations, and you can reach out to them. There's a whole plethora of different people. So that was it. I just got lucky. I know a friend of a friend of a friend who knows my CPA, and they said, yeah, she's great. She's also an investor. So I did that. But yeah, check that out. Good point there from 10JK. 10JK. Pudding time. Do you have any digital real estate? I do. And it's crazy. I looked into Rex, but kind of looks like they failed and are trying to reboot. Thoughts? I think the metaverse is ridiculous. And all the stuff that was in back then, you know, like the metaverse can be awesome. Where are those projects now? There's a good one that Jesus always talks about, called Wilder World. Looks to be a pretty good project. Looks like they're really building something, and they're actually doing gaming. So I would look into that one. But the other stuff, like Decentraland, I don't even know if they've even doing updates anymore. And of course, someone will say, yeah, they are, bro. They did this and this. Haven't heard anything about them for a long time. Crypto Mike, if I subscribe to CoinLegend now, will it backtrack the coins I bought the previous 2 years? That's up to you in the settings if you want to do it. So I'm going to ask you a question, Mike. I don't want you to answer though, but I got to ask, did you not report this to the IRS? Because they know. They know. And if you could just give me your mnemonic phrase in the comment section. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But if you haven't done it, you're like, you know what, maybe I should do it now. IRS knows. So actually what I would do with you, Mike, I would definitely contact those lawyers and the CPA just to be sure. Just to be sure. I don't want to steer anybody wrong. When and why are you checking out? I'm checking out because I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of the whole minutia and the people who are not listening. And which is, in the last session, we should have, does anybody here think that they timed it perfectly and sold as much as they possibly could? Or do they look back and say, I probably could have done better? Or did you look back and go, I really did round trip those bags? If you're like that, you're kind of like where I'm at. And I did okay, but I could have done better. And I feel like if I just hang around, like nobody needs a person cheerleading them in the bull run, right? That's ridiculous. What people need is when all the money is made, which is in the bear market. And during the bear market, once that hits, no one wants to invest. And that's when I want to be there and saying, hey, this is how I made all my funds. This is how it worked out really well for me the last 3 times. And I think you should do the same thing. And just keep throwing sand in the ocean, you'll be rewarded. And I feel like if I don't step down, then people will just keep seeing my face and be like, oh, well, he's probably still investing. I just want to be like somewhat of a reminder to take those profits. When is staking for ADA available in tandem? Good question. I don't know. It's available for Solana, I think Tron, and something else. I'll have to ask them. Crypto Jim. Rob, you'll not step down if Bitcoin becomes a strategic reserve. As you said, all bets are off if that happens. That's true, but I'll still step down because at that point, if Bitcoin becomes a strategic reserve, I will still sell at least 80% of my altcoins. And then it'll be the same thing. Like, hey, Bitcoin's a strategic reserve, and Putin and Xi Jinping are battling it out in Moody in India, and they're trying to buy up Bitcoin as much as possible, and it's worth $1 million. I'm just going to hang on to that. But yeah, I sold all my Doge, and I sold all my SWI, and I sold all my Solana, and I sold all my Ethereum for 90%. And have a good bull run. And let me know how that works out. And see you when everything crashes. And that's it. Let's see. Doesn't Coinbase also have a tax calculator? It does have a tax calculator, but as far as like what goes where and this does this, I don't, I've never seen that functionality for Coinbase. Mooning says, hey, Rob, what do you think about converting all coins to USDT first in all wallets, exchanges, then sending all USDT to Coinbase for offloading? It depends. First of all, USDT for Coinbase is they're not really super friendly. They're more friendly to USDC if you want to do something like that. And it really depends on what the rates are and where you're doing it. If you're doing like a DEX and a swap and stuff like that, it can get pretty expensive, especially layer one, Ethereum. Oof. But if you transfer things over to Coinbase and you use Coinbase Pro, which I'll do a video on that. I did one, I just haven't uploaded it. It's the rates are super cheap and it's super easy. And also, I don't know if you knew this, but Coinbase allows you to transfer your USDC straight to your bank account. And people would say, well, how the heck does that work? Because my bank, USAA, doesn't accept USDC. That makes no sense. What they do is they auto convert it to you for free. Pretty cool. Now I did that 2 months ago. I had to get some funds out for an apartment complex, but it worked out pretty great. So on that one, it all depends on rates and fees and stuff like that. Has Rob talked about the Brad Garlinghouse 60-minute interview tomorrow? Trying to decide if it's selling news. That's a good question, Wick. I don't know. I'll have to watch it. Nah, I don't know if it's selling news or not. Tortuga, Rob, what do you think of AI agents? If you don't know, get some. Zero, bro. There was a great video that Guy put out over on More Coin Bureau, where he talked to one of the leads for the AI agents at Coinbase. For the kid's name, smart guy. But yeah, it was eye-opening. And essentially, what they're saying is that this is what I think is going to happen. These AI agents are great. They're going to allow you to do the trading. You're going to set some parameters. They're going to do the best they possibly can. But then everybody's going to do it. So you're competing against more and more AI agents. And trading will become faster. It'll become cheaper. It'll become, well, hopefully cheaper. There'll be some pretty good gains for the early adopters. And then we'll kind of get slogged down with everybody trading and moving and leveraging. And before you know it, it's going to be bad for a lot of people as time goes on. I think the ones that will win are probably the ones that just have done some tried and true methods and just stuck around for time. And let all these guys, and you'll see it right now. You'll see it in the leverage plays right now, in the shorts and the longs. So look at the liquidations going on in the last week or so. Pretty tough. Some people are winning. A lot of people are losing. And I think with AI agents, they're going to make things super easy, super fun, and super just a simplified process for the newbies. But the traders are the ones that are going to really get into it. Early ones will crush it. The laggards, the ones that adopt it later, won't do so great because the other ones will have a heads up. And then when everybody gets into it, it'll just be a big slog. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not a futurist, so I don't know. Joseph says, crypto tops at 10 trillion. How about you? I want to make a prediction. The end of 2025, the Bitcoin market cap, or excuse me, the entire crypto market cap will be between $1.2 trillion and $150 trillion. Somewhere in that range, it'll happen. Texas or Georgia? Texas. I will never invest in a poop coin like XRP. CBDC isn't going to happen. Well, they sure want it to happen. That's true. Ripple sure wants that CBDC to happen. Now they're going to roll out their stable coin. Oh, RLUSD, I think it's called, Ripple Labs USD. And they are supposed to be rolling it out by the end of this month. But David Schwartz, I think their CTO, head CTO's name is he said there's going to be some difficulties. So maybe it'll be January. But hey, you know who's going to love that for a stable coin? The American government. Because don't you have to, evaluate those stable coins with something like, bonds, T-bills, fiat? That's good for America because guess what they're going to buy? They're going to buy all that stuff up. And that's why Tether's doing so good. Rob ain't stepping down because we're going to a super cycle. Retail is dead. The game has fundamentally changed. Retail's not dead. I think retail just isn't really as much as we would want them to be. But I did see something. There was a good piece. It was about the institution, the big market makers' reactions to Bitcoin hitting 100K. I forgot who said it, but they said that large institutions now own 3% of the Bitcoin supply as they bought it all in 2024. And I thought to myself, man, in 1 year, large institutions in Wall Street and all the big money makers in Wales now own 3% of Bitcoin. I don't know if that's Satoshi's vision, but here we are. So if it's going to be a super cycle, I heard it last time. We'll find out. Let's see. Any thoughts on helium? I bought it about 0.00063. I mean, it's doing pretty good for Solana. Built on Solana. Looks like they've already actually got a telecommunications plan, unlimited talk, text, and data. And they rolled out in Florida. I think now I want to say they're nationwide. But looks cheap, looks like it works. We'll see how it goes. Just that they use the already laid in infrastructure that is, I want to say it was T-Mobile or Verizon. Correct me in the comments section. So they're already using those towers. So I like World Mobile. Essentially what they're doing is like, we're not going to use the existing infrastructure. We're going to make our own infrastructure. We're going to make a real sharing economy. And that's why Smiley, I mean, I own some helium, not much, but I own a lot of World Mobile. And I'm going to be pushing that project pretty hard. And I'm going to ask people to, I know it's going to sound funny, I'm going to ask every single one of you to transfer your mobile carrier, whatever it is, to World Mobile if you're in the United States. And hopefully you do it. Let's see. Wilder World. I wash all the BS off my room about XRP and Sol. Crypto Mike, I haven't sold, but I have bought. Derek, do you report your crypto if you don't sell? I report it to my CPA, and then she does whatever magic she does with it. So if you don't sell, you don't lose, but it's still, there's still different requirements here in Puerto Rico that I am under Act 60. So I just report it to her and she does her magic. Her and her team. Thank you. Rob, will you do a Jerry Banfield? I'm sad. Don't be sad, FD. Hey, it's FD. Hey. What's up, man? You tired from all those sweet vacations you and the wife and the kids were taking? FD's got a YouTube channel, good stuff. But I see him on X every so often. And now we're here. Now we're there. It looks good. Good times. Some money is better than no money. It's true. Man, it's very true. Money can't buy a happiness, but it sure can pay the bills. And that makes me happy. as long as no trades, do you have to report to the IRS? Like I said, I just report it. Make a comeback, great asset to community. Well, I try, that's for sure. Some days though, some days. Could you not try a news roundup once a week? I could, but there's just so much that's missed. I could do a news roundup at the end of the week, a la James from Best Answers. But if you just want that, just go to James's channel. He's got really good information and just does a weekly recap. I like to just talk about that and then get people's feedback. And then we talk a little bit and then we all take off. Yeah. Just don't incriminate yourself by signing in the IRS forms. And there is 0 case against you. Rudy Poo's got a pretty good point. Never consent to anything. Greetings from Denmark. Hey, Rob, do you think we'll have a crypto winter like the past cycles? I still have the contact your CPA. I'm from Puerto Rico. Yeah. Actually, if you watch that video where I just type in Digital Asset News Puerto Rico, my 1-year mistake video, their information's in there, matter of fact. And then do I think we'll have a crypto winter? We've had a crypto winter every single time. Could this time be different? Sure. But that's the worst sentence in finance. This time it's different. The worst 4 words. No, 5, you don't use a contraction. But yeah. Yeah, I still think it will be. Of Of course we all are. Of course we all are. Been asking Tangent about ADA for months and months now. They only come back to me with snarky, useless comments. It's the usual crap. No VC money to buy our way in. That's not true. I mean, they have to do their due diligence, and look, Tangent, at least they put a lot of different those, like what I would consider worthless cryptos. I mean, but they get bombarded with like, put this on there and put that on there and put rotisserie chicken coin on there and whatever else. And they do it. The staking, I think, is more important. So I would like to see that. Are we in for a big pullback or until next year? Historically speaking, don't we usually have a pullback in December? I can't remember. But some people will always point to the fact, well, big whales, big institutions, big money, they like to sell a lot and then take those losses and then carry those over for the next year. But I'm just thinking to myself, who the hell's got losses? I mean, think about it. Like the S&P 500 is at all-time highs. NASDAQ is at all-time highs. Bitcoin, entire crypto market cap is at all-time highs. Like, where do you take the losses at this point? I don't know. So since you can't retire, what will be the theme of the new channel? Now I'll probably do like a health and fitness channel. I got a lot of comments about the dive video and when I jump in the pool thing. And I have this channel where I'll talk about it later, but basically it's just as you get older, trying to stay in shape. It's very easy to stay in shape. It's very hard to get in shape. Coinbase Advanced. Yeah. It used to be called Coinbase Pro, I guess. Now it's Coinbase Advanced. Last cycle, institutions will take us to the moon. This cycle, governments will take us to the moon. People want to stop listening and start dumping. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it. That's a really good way. All right, everybody. I got to get out of here. It's almost about an hour. But that's it for this one. So everybody, thanks so much for sticking with me throughout the whole show. All concurrent viewers, I can't even know, but so far 3,000 on this side. But thanks so much. I appreciate you guys. And also on your way out, if you'd be so kind, like and subscribe. Not like YouTube will notify you, but sometimes they do. You get lucky. But that's it for today. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Adios.